Hello and welcome to Finding Your Zen in a Chaotic World with Elvira Burns, Mind Coach. I welcome you to the course. Introducing the coach. Elvira Burns, myself, an experienced mind coach specializing in sports performance, trauma, and PTSD removal, success, personal transformation, and empowerment. An acupuncturist, having studied in China and Australia, a former IT network support engineer and sales professional with international companies, a meditation practitioner, and a Qigong teacher. What is Burns' coaching method? A coaching method developed by the international mind coach Elvira Burns, myself, based on her more than 20 years of experience and training. The most important point of Burns is the focus on combining awareness training and goals process to optimize one's body, mind, and life daily. The next key points are understanding the physiology of stress, awareness training exercises to optimize mind and body, the inner perfection as the innate source of empowerment, letting go of emotional charge attached to the past, present, and future, and achievement of goals. Fire of awareness. The fire of awareness burns all that blocks it. By training our awareness and mastering our mind and physiology, we allow the past stress and its memories to dissolve, letting the inner wisdom shine and uncover the inner courage, fearlessness, freedom, and joy. We become resilient to the present and future stress as well, which allows us for taking action freely to achieve our goals. We uncover energy, passion, joy, and happiness. Elvira's last name, Burns, was the inspiration behind the official name Burns It. Elvira's clients have achieved remarkable transformations in life. The catalyst to the method. My own stress in life, work, ambitions, and goals created the need to optimize myself daily, get a handle on stress, overcome emotional limitations, let go of emotional baggage and limiting beliefs to achieve my own goals. This enabled me to help others and then create a method and a program so you can also get ahead in life. My own achievements. I don't have debts. I understand my key purpose in life to help others to achieve their dreams. I have helped many people transform themselves and their lives. I became an artist. I have time for and do my meditation practice and studies. I have a good awareness training of stress and able to overcome it on daily basis. I have let go of all my past traumas that I can remember, and I am continuously letting go of any limiting beliefs I become aware of. Setting goals and taking actions is mostly effortless for me. I'm able to apply the same techniques to help myself overcome what blocks my goals. I'm very content with my own skin, my life's vision, and transforming 1 million people is what I'm passionate about. All my life's goals align with my life's vision and are therefore joyful to pursue, and there is congruence in my mindset and motivation. I optimize myself daily. I built a 12 months program to help others break through. I wish for the same for you and even more, whatever it is that you wish for yourself. Everything starts with wishes. Our life. What is our problem? It is life itself. That is our problem. Let's take a look at the definition of life by ChatGPT. Human life can be defined as the existence and experience of an individual human being, encompassing biological processes, cognitive abilities, emotional states, social interactions, and personal meaning and purpose. It involves the journey from birth to death, marked by growth, development, and the pursuit of fulfillment and meaning within the context of one's cultural, societal, and personal values. Human life in terms of stress can be defined or described as the ongoing experience of navigating various challenges, demands, and pressures that arise from internal and external sources. It involves the body's physiological and psychological responses to stresses, including activation of the stress response system, which is hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, and the sympathetic nervous system. Human life in the context of stress encompasses the interactions between individual characteristics, environmental factors, and coping mechanisms influencing one's ability to adapt and maintain balance amidst adversity. So I just want to draw your attention that our life is basically balance amidst adversity. And that balance is the daily optimization that we need to do. It is obvious that we are in a state of constant stress and change, which destabilizes us mentally and physically. And we have to put ourselves back continuously. Understanding our problems, life's realities we must face. What we desire, fulfilling versus extraordinary life. A fulfilling life focuses on satisfaction and contentment derived from meeting personal needs and achieving meaningful goals. An extraordinary life often goes beyond fulfillment to include exceptional achievements and unique experiences that set one's life apart. Self-disempowerment. We can disempower ourselves through various behaviors, attitudes, and mindsets that hinder our ability to achieve our potential and lead fulfilling lives. Low self-esteem, lack of goals, fixed mindset, unresolved past traumas is the beginning of the list of how we disempower ourselves. So believing one is unworthy or incapable can limit aspirations and achievements. This needs to be cleaned up. Not setting clear, achievable goals can result in a lack of direction and purpose. Obviously, we need to fix that one. Fixed mindsets, believing that abilities and intelligence are static and unchangeable, can limit growth and adaptation. It is more important to think about what one can learn rather than what talents one possesses. Allowing past traumas to dominate present behavior and thinking without seeking help or resolution can hinder emotional and psychological well-being. And this is what I work with a lot to help people overcome the past unresolved traumas and otherwise unhappy memories so that people can live a free, fulfilling life. Fear of failure, avoiding risks and new opportunities due to fear of failure can prevent personal growth and achievement. Procrastination, delaying tasks and decisions can lead to missed opportunities and increased stress. Negative self-talk, constantly criticizing oneself, focusing on failures, and having a pessimistic outlook can diminish self-esteem and confidence. Victim mentality, viewing oneself as a perpetual victim of circumstances and blaming external factors for one's own situation can hinder personal responsibility and empowerment. Avoidance of change, resisting change and sticking to comfort zones can limit growth and new experiences. Lack of self-discipline, inconsistent effort, and inability to stick to goals can impede progress and lead to unfulfilled ambitions. Poor time management, inefficient use of time can lead to stress, missed opportunities, and a sense of being overwhelmed. Avoidance of responsibility, refusing to take responsibility for one's actions and decisions can prevent growth and learning. Lack of self-care, neglecting physical, emotional, and mental health can lead to burnout and decreased productivity. Overwhelm and burnout, taking on too much without setting boundaries can lead to exhaustion and decreased effectiveness. Comparison with others. Constantly comparing oneself to others can foster feelings of inadequacy and dissatisfaction. Substance abuse, using drugs, alcohol, or other substances like food to cope with problems can lead to dependency and health issues, undermining personal and professional life. As you have seen in the previous slides, a lot of our problems are consisting of mental limitations and emotional charge that is attached to them. If we let go from the emotional charge, we are becoming freer, more open, and our limiting beliefs start to dissolve. Because what is holding limiting beliefs in place why we think something is possible or impossible for us is some kind of fear, some kind of perhaps past traumas, or somebody said something to you that disempowered you. Common limiting beliefs that hold people back from living their desired life. These beliefs can significantly impact one's ability to achieving their goals and live a fulfilling life. Identifying and clearing these beliefs is a crucial step in personal development and transformation. This is me on the photograph with the Prince of Monaco. Um, my gifts of two paintings to him. As you can see, I had a goal of becoming an artist, and I have become an artist, and I have been a part of the foundation of Prince Albert fundraising in Singapore for environmental causes, and my paintings have sold for those causes to contribute to the goals of the foundation. If we don't have limiting beliefs of what we can or cannot do, life becomes a lot more vast and open and creative. I encourage you to pursue your dreams. Examples of limiting beliefs. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve success. I can't change my situation. I'm too old, young to start. I don't have enough time. I'm not talented enough. It's too late for me. I'm not smart enough. I always fail. I don't have the right connections. I can't handle rejection. I'm not strong enough. I don't have enough money. I'm not lucky. I'm not attractive enough. I'm not confident enough. I don't know where to start. Others are better than me. I'm afraid of what others will think. I'm not worthy of love. I can't trust people. I always mess things up. I can't be happy until. Success is too hard to achieve. I need to be perfect. You could call this with umbrella term, which is well known. I'm not enough. So whatever it is that you feel you're lacking, then it becomes the nickname I'm not enough. And we call ourselves to ourselves this all the time. And therefore, even the external circumstances are nice and peaceful and conducive to doing something. If we are burdened by these limiting beliefs and the emotional charge they carry, we cannot take ourselves and our goals forward easily. And our mindset is covered up by the following events. Negative memories. What happened in childhood? What parents said or did? Siblings, other family members. So basically the whole list of what you did or others did to you, what you did to others. College, university, work and work experience, bosses, co-workers, boyfriends and girlfriends, spouses, children, childbirth, aging, accidents, failures, losses, humiliation, illness, deaths, being a perfectionist, specific events of procrastination, being disorganized, doctors and dentists visits, surgeries, specific events about not progressing the career, specific events to do with sports, working out, exercise. So this is what makes up our mindset. If our mindset is filled with largely positive events in these areas, we appear more stronger and more confident. But if we had setbacks in these areas, we really need to clean them up so we can become free towards the future. We need to clear and let go of emotional charge of past events in order to stop having limiting beliefs. Existential stress. Fear. Fear is basically part of our life. It's part of our mentality, part of our self-defense mechanisms. It's Fear is the foundation of stress, both conscious and unconscious. Anger, jealousy, pride, attachment, aversion, desire are results of us fearing something. We have attachment to happiness and aversion to suffering. Likewise, we want fame and don't want insignificance. Praise is desirable and blame is undesirable. Gain is strived for and loss is avoided. The constant cycle of attachment and aversion, fueled by fear, and fundamental not knowing how anything will turn out. Our life is filled with hope and fear, and even hope itself is still a product of fear. Politics and war. You need only three people to come together to have politics. Politics, in some form, has been around for at least 6,000 years since the rise of the first civilizations, though its nature, structure, and complexity have evolved dramatically over time, from tribal councils to modern democracies or authoritarian regimes. The essence of politics, managing collective human affairs, remains a constant in human society. Politicians are people, they have goals, they have fear and stress, just like us. War definition. War is a state of armed conflict between different countries or groups within a country involving the use of military force to achieve political, economic, or territorial objectives. It is characterized by organized violence, often leading to widespread destruction, loss of life, and significant social upheaval. Causes. Political struggles for power, regime change, or ideological differences. Economic control over resources, economic dominance, or sanctions. Territorial disputes over land or borders. Ethnic or religious conflicts driven by ethnic or religious tensions. Historical grievances, long-standing conflicts that reignite the unresolved issues. I would say that most conflicts involve all of the above. Or if they start in one area, they drag all other areas in, and that's why they're highly complex. And if we are being presented with a very simplistic view, we should be cautious about that. It is all not simple. Let's delve a little bit into the history of wars. The reason I'd like you to look at it is so you can appreciate the history of our planet, the history of humanity. And so you don't feel like the recent wars are something new or something unusual. It may appear to be so, but in fact, in the last maybe 10 years, we probably have had, minus the last four, we would have had the most peaceful time on this planet. Prehistoric warfare, there is evidence suggesting that intergroup violence, which could be considered a primitive form of warfare, existed even before the advent of recorded history. Archaeological findings like mass graves with signs of violence from around 14,000 years ago indicate that conflict might have been part of human life since hunter-gatherer times. However, these early conflicts lacked the scale and organization of later wars. Neolithic to Bronze Age, around 12,000 to 3000 BCE, with the advent of agriculture around 12,000 years ago, which led to settled communities, the conditions for more structured warfare emerged. There's evidence of fortification and weapons from this period suggesting conflicts over land and resources. One of the earliest recorded conflicts might be the Battle of Lu in China, dated around 2500 BCE according to Chinese historical records. Ancient civilizations around 3000 BCE onwards. The Sumerian king list from Mesopotamia, one of the oldest historical records, talks about conflicts around 2700 BCE. The Egyptian hieroglyphs also describe warfare from this period. By the time of the Bronze Age, warfare was highly organized, with battles like the Battle of Megiddo, 1479 BCE, showing large armies fighting each other in a strategic way. Classical antiquity, the Greeks and Romans documented countless wars, with notable examples like the Trojan War around 1260 to 1180 BCE, though it's historically debated, and the Punic Wars, 264 to 146 BCE between Rome and Carthage. Middle Ages to modern era, from the medieval Crusades, 1096-1291, to the 30 Years' War, 1618-1648 in Europe. Warfare became more sophisticated with the introduction of gunpowder and standing armies. Contemporary wars. The scale of war escalated dramatically in the 20th century with World Wars I and II, involving global powers and leading to unprecedented levels of destruction. War, in essence, represents one of the most extreme manifestations of human conflict, involving complex interactions of strategy, politics, economics, and human behavior, with repercussions that often extend well beyond the battlefield. Wars are planned by politicians and businessmen in advance. Their agendas are sinister. These people are often psychotic and dehumanize themselves. Some thoughts on war, and that is from me personally. If it comes to it, we need to protect ourselves and our countries from destruction. We need to understand that war has very complex causes and conditions, and truth may never be known. We may suffer and we may die just like our previous generations on this planet. Knowing all these unpleasant facts brings a level of acceptance about imperfections of our life and its impermanence, which is the truth and the reality. We need to remember compassion. No human being wants to suffer and only wants to be happy, and be guided by that principle individually. As an individual, we have a choice to be kind, compassionate, loving, and understanding despite horrible circumstances, and protect others like it always happened at all times. There would be somebody who is standing up to the violence, to dehumanization, and keeping the values of compassion and saving others. We know politicians are humans. They are a product of their multiple goals, desires, perceptions, assumptions, and stress. It's a very shaky ground. When they come together, they bring the individual and collective mixes of confusion, desire, and fear that make them highly changeable. We can never be certain of their opinions and beliefs and motivations of their actions. At best, we can judge if they are, at least, having the motivation to look after the people they are supposed to serve. If the wish is not present, then we can make conclusions they're pretty evil. When they become 100% for themselves, they can bring down a country. And that's how the dynasties fell down and new rulers stepped in the past empires. At individual level, we can reduce our stress and mental suffering through understanding and awareness training and meditation to keep letting go of stress as it is occurring. We will fare better and we will protect others by uplifting them with our example. Clean up your mindset, reconnect with the power of confidence, self-esteem, and quiet mind. Do it continuously and become brave. Uplift others. Unknown and change. The human experience is profoundly shaped by our interactions with the unknown. Personal life and identity, self-discovery. Much of one's life involves exploring and understanding personal identity, desires, talents, and limitations, all of which are initially unknown. Life transitions from childhood to adulthood, career changes, or personal losses. Each transition brings a period of uncertainty where we navigate the unknown. Relationships, building connections. Forming new relationships involves stepping into unknown territories of another person's emotions, thoughts, and reactions. Dealing with change. Relationships evolve, and dealing with unknown aspects of how people change or how relationships might shift over time is a constant challenge. Health and mortality. Health uncertainties. No one knows exactly how their health will fare over time, leading to life lived with the awareness of unknown medical conditions or the aging process. Mortality. The ultimate unknown is the end of life. How, when, and under what circumstances will we die is a mystery that influences how we live. Career and education. Career paths. Most people don't know exactly what their career will look like from the start. There is continuous learning and adaptation to new industries, technologies, or job roles. Educational journey. Education is about exploring the unknown, whether it's new subjects or different ways of thinking. Society and culture. Cultural shifts. Society is always in flux. with new norms, technologies, and cultural expressions emerging, often unpredictably. Global dynamics, political, economic, or environmental changes on a global scale introduce unknowns that affect everyone's life. Science and knowledge, scientific inquiry. Science is fundamentally about probing the unknown, with each answer leading to more questions. Technological advancements. The rapid pace of technology means we are often dealing with new tools or systems we don't fully understand at first. Emotional and psychological growth. Emotional responses, we often don't know how well we'll react to the new situations or stimuli, and emotional growth involves navigating these unknowns. Psychological development, understanding one's own mind and the minds of others, is a lifelong journey into the unknown. Emotional and psychological growth. Coping with the unknown. Adaptability. Human beings have an innate capacity for adaptability, which is crucial for dealing with life's uncertainties. Risk management. We learn to assess, manage, and sometimes embrace risks associated with the unknown. Resilience. Building resilience helps in recovering from or adjusting to unforeseen events. Curiosity, a drive towards learning and exploration, can transform fear of the unknown into excitement or opportunity. Philosophical approaches, from Stoicism teachings, acceptance of what we cannot control, to existentialism, emphasizing the freedom within uncertainty, philosophy offers various ways to engage with the unknown, community, and support. Sharing experiences with others can alleviate the anxieties of the unknown, providing collective wisdom and support. Your spiritual beliefs. Rely on your spiritual beliefs to help you through good times and bad times. If you do it in good times, you are not taking your life for granted and building a habit of resilience when you need it in times of trouble. In times of trouble, fall on it, as most things won't make logical sense. Your spiritual belief is your own mind that can never be harmed or destroyed. Rely on your inner wills. Radiate it outward and protect others. Lead them by example. Courage, love, and compassion are contagious. Spread them mercilessly. Our life is a mystery, every aspect of it. We need to accept it and have the humor and light-hearted approach. It is a miracle we can see and hear each other, considering the electrical signals interpreted by the brain. And we can kind of agree on those sounds and sights we perceive. Mystery. There is one more certainty, and it is that everything changes. Philosophical perspectives. Buddhism, the concept of anicca or impermanence is central, teaching that all things are transient and constantly changing. This includes our perceptions, emotions, and the physical world. Heraclitus, often cited with the phrase, "No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and he's not the same man." Heraclitus emphasized that change is the fundamental essence of the universe. Postmodernism challenges traditional notions of truth and reality, suggesting that we perceive a constructed idea through language, culture, and power dynamics, thus inherently fluid and mutable. If anybody is selling us the stability, we can see that it is really a wishful thinking, a dream. Rely on change. It is the truth. Only truth can be relied upon. Psychological and cognitive aspects. Perception. Human perception is not a direct reflection of reality, but is constructed by the brain. Optical illusions, for example, show how our brains can be tricked into seeing things that aren't there or missing what is. Memory. Memories are not static recordings, but are reconstructed each time we recall them, often changing slightly due to new information or emotions. Cognitive biases Our perceptions are influenced by biases like confirmation bias, where we might see what we expect or want to see rather than what is. Change blindness. This phenomenon illustrates how we often fail to notice significant changes in our environment because our perception focuses on what is we expect to remain constant. We are not habituated to spending time observing changes. As we rush through life, we forget many things. It is a very good idea to start watching for all kinds of changes, thoughts, emotions within ourselves first, to notice how nothing is static but everything is changing. It will help next time when you wake up at night and think, what a failure I am. This thought will change in the morning and the sun rises and energy starts. No big deal. Darkness that exaggerates all fears. Fears are thoughts and sensations. They will change. Perception of change is quite important. So start noticing how things change within you and things change around you. And you will start to ride the mental idea of change, the mindset of change, and that will help you adjust and be resilient. Implications. Adaptability. Recognizing constant change encourages adaptability, resilience, and flexibility in personal life, work, and society. It also helps in business to notice when a change is desperately needed for the better. Or adjustments. Humility. Understanding that our perceptions might not match reality can foster humility, encouraging us to question and learn rather than assuming we know everything. Innovation. In science, technology, and art, acknowledging that things are not always as we perceive them leads to breakthroughs and new ways of understanding the world. Philosophical inquiry. This realization prompts ongoing philosophical questioning about the nature of reality, truth, identity, and existence. Existential angst, the life's various fears and realities. Let go of emotional charge. Develop humor. Do not take yourself or others too seriously. Uplift others. Tune into your spiritual beliefs to nourish you. Nourish others physically and mentally. Our minds can never be destroyed. Love is the way always. It is a state of being. History of epidemics and how humans misuse them for their gain. Let's go over some history so we get the perspective and understanding and feeling that stuff like that has been around, is around, and will be around, and it will be misused. The cholera epidemics of the 19th century, political unrest, the cholera outbreaks in Europe and America during 1800s were often linked to poor sanitation in urban areas, leading to social unrest. Governments sometimes used these outbreaks to crack down on political movements, blaming the spread on revolutionary activities or certain ethnic groups. The third plague pandemic, 1855 onwards, racial segregation. In places like San Francisco, the outbreak of bubonic plague led to the segregation of Chinatown. Chinese immigrants were scapegoated, and strict quarantine and hygiene laws were applied discriminatorily, reflecting racial prejudices. The 19th century yellow fever epidemics, economic gains through slavery. In the southern United States, yellow fever outbreaks were sometimes seen by plantation owners as a means to increase the demand for slaves. Since Africans had some resistance to yellow fever due to prior exposure in Africa, their labor was sought after, intensifying the slave trade. The Great Irish Famine and Typhus, 1845 to 1852. Political exploitation. While not an epidemic per se, the famine led to typhus outbreaks. The British government response was criticized for prioritizing economic policies over human welfare, leading to mass immigration and deaths. The famine was used to enforce land clearances, with landlords evicting tenants, often leading to disease spread. The 1976 swine flu outbreak in the US. Political misuse. This incident involved a perceived threat of a major flu epidemic. leading to a mass vaccination campaign. However, when cases didn't materialize as predicted, the side effects like Guillain-Barré syndrome emerged. The event was politicized, affecting public trust in health campaigns and highlighting issues with governments and pharmaceutical interactions. HIV/AIDS crisis, stigmatization for political gain. In the early years of HIV/AIDS epidemic, there was significant stigma, misinformation, particularly targeting gay men and later African communities in Africa. This was exploited by the politicians and media for various agendas, including homophobic policies and neglect of public health. The SARS outbreak, 2002-2004, media manipulation. In China, the initial cover-up of the SARS outbreak by local governments to maintain economic stability and political image led to a delayed response, allowing the virus to spread further. This reflects how health crises can be manipulated for maintaining political stability or economic appearances. Ebola outbreaks 2014 to 16, misinformation and fear-mongering. There were instances where misinformation about Ebola led to xenophobia, with some countries implementing overly harsh travel bans or stigmatizing African immigrants regardless of actual risk. Biological warfare. Throughout history, diseases have been used as weapons. For instance, during the French and Indian War, British forces attempted to spread smallpox among Native American tribes by distributing infected blankets, a tactic known as germ warfare. Ethical breaches. The Tuskegee syphilis study in the US from 1932 to 1972 is a stark example where African American men were left untreated to study the natural progression of the disease without informed consent. Censorship and control. Governments have sometimes used epidemics to increase surveillance, control movement, or suppress political dissent under the guise of public health measures. Misinformation, deliberate spread of false information for political or financial gain, which exacerbate the impact of an epidemic by eroding trust in scientific response. Modern biological warfare, lab origins, military connections. Biosafety Level 3 laboratories. Purpose and agents handled. BSL-3 labs are designed to work with indigenous or exotic agents that may cause serious or potentially lethal disease through inhalation routes. This include pathogens like Mycobacterium tuberculosis, Yersinia pestis, or plague, and various viruses such as West Nile virus or SARS-CoV-1. Research here often involves clinical, diagnostic, teaching, or production facilities where risk of aerosol transmission is significant. Safety measures. Access control. Access to these labs is restricted with controlled entry. Labs have self-closing double-door access separated from general building corridors. Personal protective equipment. Lab personnel must wear solid front gowns, respirators, and other protective gear like gloves. Engineering controls. These labs abducted directional airflow to ensure air moves from clean to potentially contaminated areas without recirculation. This is to prevent the spread of infectious agents outside the lab. Training. Personnel must receive specific training in handling pathogenic agents and be supervised by competent scientists. Examples and distribution. There are numerous BSL-3 labs worldwide, with the United States alone having hundreds. They do the research of diseases that can have significant public health impacts. Now, biosafety level 4 laboratories. Purpose and agents handled. BSL-4 labs handled the most dangerous and exotic pathogens which pose a high risk of aerosol-transmitted infections, often leading to fatal diseases without treatment. Examples include Ebola, Marburg virus, and some flaviviruses like Lassa fever virus. These labs focus on diagnostic work and research that requires the highest level of biocontainment. Safety measures, access and isolation. Labs are usually isolated, either in separate buildings or restricted zones with two sets of self-closing doors for entry. PPE and equipment. Workers must change clothing before entering, shower upon exiting, and use full body air supplied positive pressure suits when working with agents. All materials must be decontaminated before leaving the lab. Containment systems. There is a dedicated supply of air, vacuum lines, and advanced decontamination systems. Air must be filtered before recirculation or release. Training and oversight. Personnel undergo extensive training and work under strict protocols, often with oversight from national or international bodies. Examples and distribution. Globally, there are about 51 operational BSL-4 labs across 27 countries, with some under construction or in planning, and are mostly located in urban areas, which causes concerns due to the potential for rapid spread of pathogens in densely populated regions. Europe hosts the highest number, followed by North America and Asia. Why are these facilities located in the cities, which is what they are? Dangers of BSL for laboratories, global distribution and concerns. The increase in the new BSL-4 labs and distribution of BSL-3 labs worldwide reflect a growing capacity for handling dangerous pathogens, but also raise concerns about oversight, safety practices, and potential misuse. There is plenty on internet to show that there is hardly any control over them, that in America, let's say, they're not even fully known to the government, and they do release pathogens into the surrounding areas without letting anybody know. Scientific collaborations. Researchers and lab directors often establish personal or institutional connections through collaborative research projects, leading to informal exchanges of knowledge and practices. So if we think that just one lab in the world can release pathogens that's are unusual and highly infective, that is also not true, because the labs interact with each other and exchange knowledge globally. They all must know what they're doing. Globally, there are about 51 operational BSL-4 labs across 27 countries, as we already mentioned, and they are all in urban areas. You can go to Wikipedia and read more about it, where they are located. There are different lists of them. You can search online as well and just see where they are located in your area. For example, there's one in the middle of Pune in India. There's one in the middle of Melbourne in Australia, and so on. Gain of function research. What is gain of function research? Definition. Gain of function research typically involves altering the genetic makeup of an organism, like a virus or bacterium, to enhance its virulence, transmissibility, or host range. This can be done to understand how pathogens might evolve naturally, or to develop countermeasures like vaccines and treatments. Examples in pathogens. Modifying influenza viruses to study potential mutations that could make them more transmissible among humans. Research on coronaviruses to understand how they might adapt to different species or become more pathogenic. Both items are questionable, highly questionable. The need, the purpose, I just have no words for this. Ethical and safety concerns, risk versus benefit. Critics argue that the risks of accidental release or misuse for bioterrorism might outweigh the potential benefits of understanding pathogen evolution or developing new medical countermeasures. Accidental release. The potential for even a small lab error to cause a significant outbreak is a major concern, especially with pathogens capable of human-to-human transmission. And of course, if the government decides to let these pathogens out, it's very easy to do. Dual-use research. There is an inherent dual-use dilemma where research intended for good can be misused to harm. This has led to calls for stringent review process transparency and international coordination. I personally don't trust any of this. And I'm not afraid to think this way and feel this way. And I can see plenty of evidence that All of this has happened and is happening. Notable cases and controversies. H5N1 influenza. Research in the Netherlands and the US created H5N1 strains that could transmit through the air between ferrets, leading to widespread debate on the ethics and safety of such research. Coronavirus research. Research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology involving bat coronaviruses has been scrutinized, especially after the emergence of SARS-CoV-2. It raised questions about gain of function research with coronaviruses. It really needs to stop. Why are we amplifying something that is dangerous? There is no need for this research. There is no need for level 4 labs, and even level 3 need to be questioned, especially in the cities, and so many of them. Maybe they should be a very, very small number of them and away from the cities. Gain of function is immoral, dangerous, and used as bioweapon. COVID is a product of all of this. These are my personal opinions, and I don't think I'm wrong. What can we do? We have to accept there is evil. We have to resist the evil, and we have to manage our individual stress and knowledge levels. Only you can help you let go of stress. No one else can do it. What it means to be Zen and the benefits. Now that we've gone over all the various stresses and the sources of stress, let's take a look at what we can do. To be Zen generally means to maintain a state of inner calm, peace, and mindfulness, regardless of the external circumstances. And we don't like a lot of circumstances. It is about cultivating a sense of balance, non-reactivity, and acceptance, often inspired by the principles of Zen Buddhism. To be Zen, living in the present moment, focusing fully on the now rather than dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Example, during a stressful situation, instead of overthinking outcomes, you focus on what you can do right now to address it. Acceptance and non-attachment, embracing life as it is without trying to control every outcome or clinging to expectations. Example, letting go of the frustration of a cancelled plan and using the time to rest or do something else. Inner peace amidst chaos, remaining calm and composed even in difficult or hectic situations. Example, when confronted with an argument, staying neutral and responding thoughtfully instead of reacting emotionally. Simplicity, stripping away unnecessary complications in life to focus on what truly matters. Example, choosing minimalism in your home or simplifying your daily schedule. Compassion and understanding, practicing loving kindness towards yourself and others, recognizing shared struggles. Example, forgiving yourself for mistakes instead of being overly self-critical. Mindfulness and awareness, being conscious of your thoughts, feelings, and actions and observing them without judgment. Example, noticing feelings of stress or anger, but not letting them dictate your mood or your attitude. All of these require training, and there are vast amounts of training methods to achieve that. So the more you train, the better you get. This is not possible to be done at once just because it sounds good. Yeah, it sounds good and it is wonderful when you can do it, but everyone who is able to do this has had some kind of training. In today's world, being Zen often extends beyond its Buddhist origins to mean staying calm and composed in daily life, especially in stressful or chaotic situations. It's less about religious practice and more about cultivating habits that lead to mental and emotional well-being. Zen approach. Mindfulness as a core value. Embrace the practice of being present. Your philosophy might include living each moment fully, whether it's through formal meditation or simply being attentive in daily activities. Simplicity and minimalism. Value simplicity in life, not just in possessions, but in the thoughts and actions. This might mean prioritizing experiences over material accumulation or choosing clarity over complexity in decision making. Non-attachment, understanding that attachment to outcomes, possessions, or even identity can lead to suffering. Your philosophy could involve practicing letting go learning to flow with life's changes rather than resisting them. At the same time, please remember that we are all different. We all have different mental developments, background, education, experience, age, and so on. What one person can handle easily is very difficult to handle for someone else. For some people, can handle a lot of possessions with non-attachment, and some have very few possessions and can be very attached to their favorite spoon. So it all really depends on who you are. Acceptance and equanimity. Cultivating acceptance of what is rather than what should be. This includes accepting one's self, others, and life circumstances, leading to equanimity or balance in emotional responses. Compassion and interconnectedness. Recognize that interconnectedness of all things and practice compassion. This could mean acting with kindness and empathy, understanding that actions impact others and the environment. Continuous learning and adaptation. See life as a journey of learning where each experience teaches something valuable. Adaptability becomes a key part of your philosophy, embracing change as an opportunity for growth. And we've gone through the fact that change is inevitable. It's the nature of our life. And we adopt a mindset of experiencing change naturally and viewing change as an opportunity for growth, we will fare much better in life. Silence and reflection. Value silence not just as the absence of noise, but a space for introspection and understanding. Regular reflection could be a cornerstone of your philosophy, allowing for deeper self-awareness. Nature as a teacher. Look to nature for lessons in balance, impermanence, and resilience. Integrating natural rhythms into your life philosophy might mean spending time in nature or observing natural process as metaphors for human life. Purposeful living. Align actions with purpose, but understand that purpose might evolve. This part of your philosophy could involve questioning the why behind your actions, ensuring that they align with personal growth and communal well-being. And a wonderful, wonderful point number 10, humility and beginner's mind. Maintain a beginner's mind where you approach life with curiosity and humility, always open to new lessons, even in areas you think you know well. It is about creating a framework for living that promotes inner peace, wisdom, and harmony with others and the environment. Remember, this philosophy is personal. It should evolve with your life, its experiences and insights, remaining flexible enough to grow as you go along. Holistic solution. Well, the holistic solution is to undergo the 52 weeks of empowerment coaching program with me and the community of like-minded individuals. Training the mind and body in stress awareness methods, understanding physiology of stress, understanding goals process, use the awareness techniques to optimize daily life and action taking, spend dedicated 12 months on a sustainable transformation, let go of past stresses and become resilient to the new stress, take as many action steps towards our dreams as we can, achieve some goals. So that is the full program, the holistic program, the program that takes time because transformation takes time, goals take time. So this is the space and the environment to step into and transform and achieve that which you wish to achieve. But we need an immediate solution, don't we? That's what the promise was, right? So let me fulfill my promise to you and give you some techniques of what might be very helpful in the moment. For immediate change, here are some techniques of immediate benefit during stress. They're easy to do and very direct. Just remember to use them in times of need. And that's actually called mindfulness. We have to remember that we need to do something to optimize ourselves and get ourselves out of a hole that we fell into. Everything is my thinking, all my emotions, thoughts. Nobody is seeing all these except me. I am in control of myself. I am safe within myself. All is well. It can be done anywhere, doing anything very quickly when you are overwhelmed by thinking. Take a brief mental pause when your thoughts and emotions are overwhelming you. Try to relax your body by telling yourself, relax and breathe. Quickly think. All my emotions, thoughts, feelings, and perceptions are internal to me. Nobody is seeing all these or experiences them except me. My senses are getting a lot of information and my stress response is on. I'm in control of myself. I'm safe with myself. All is well. This is my thinking. It cannot harm me or do anything to me. It's just thinking. The mind is superior to the body and can turn on stress response and turn it off. You are your own boss. Only you can help you, your body, your mind, your will. This is an extremely useful technique because at such times of being overwhelmed by thoughts, we feel like we're really two people and someone is telling us something, but it's actually us. So all of these waves are part of the ocean. Once the ocean calms down, the waves calm down. So let yourself be by embracing all of these thoughts and relax and breathe. Let it settle. Mojo on. Anytime you feel deflated, think it is up to me to feel joy. Joy is my natural state, not dependent on external objects. It is an internal state. Anytime you feel out of sorts, down, uncomfortable, feel joy anyway. It's your birthright. Find what gives you joy. Name it by selecting something from internal sources, like joy to take care of others and make them happy, joy of being content with what one has, joy of experiencing your own mind in meditation or being in nature or enjoying a beautiful meal, a sunny day and the company of friends. It's a choice to feel joyful regardless of circumstances. Make it a choice. Your joy will make you shine bright for yourself and for others. Joy is a natural state of our minds, unconditioned by worries and fears. We are joyful by nature. We can come back to the inner inherent joy anytime we wish. We do not need to be or do anything to feel joy. There are no conditions. Enjoy it. So when you do feel out of sorts, tell yourself to start feeling joyful. Find those joyful moments that you cherish and pull yourself up, because if you're down and you need to be up, you need to get yourself up. So joy is the best way of doing it. Body sensations. My bodily sensations of stress are very powerful and I don't like them. Here we have a public speaking moment, right? That's when most of the people are usually locked up, can't speak, can't breathe, can't move. Bodily sensations of stress are very powerful. Muscular tension is very powerful and physical tension is immense. When we are stressed, we don't quite notice what is happening in the body. Anytime you notice feelings of stress, reflect on it quickly. All stress sensations are uncomfortable by their nature. We don't like feeling them. We try to avoid them and suppress them. That makes them stay. Tell yourself, stress creates a lot of muscular tension and limits my comfort. I'm going to learn to feel the sensations so they can pass through me mostly and not make me sick or narrow minded. Tell yourself, feel it. It's okay. These are sensations of the body working. Increased muscular tension, elevated blood pressure, heart pumping, breathing shallow. The body is doing its job. Just feel it. Don't try to suppress. 3 magical breaths to bring you back to yourself and in control quickly. To refresh, refocus, recenter when busy, overwhelmed, stressed, angry, and so on. At any point you want to shake off some stuff, whether tension or confusion or any strong emotions come, take a strong breath in through the nose and out through the mouth 3 times. This will allow you to calm down. Check how you feel. Do another 2 cycles of 3 breaths. Check if you are sufficiently okay. Otherwise, do more cycles as needed and give yourself time. When we are stressed, our breathing becomes shallow, depriving our body of oxygen. This deprives our mind of clarity and causes overwhelm. By focusing on the breath and breathing in powerfully, we bring more oxygen to replenish it, and we powerfully harness the mental processes and habits present during the overwhelm without trying to figure it out unnecessarily. Instead, we calm down and collect ourselves. Defocus eyes. Defocus eyes when you do not need to have a single pointed focus and precision of it. Start getting used to a relaxed state of your eyeballs. When you have been working on the computer, working with details, eyes tired, we overuse the zooming function of our eyes at all the time. We are not aware of this. We have trained our eyes to only pay attention to a small area and exclude everything else. This mode of vision is for short term only. It takes a lot of internal resources and causes exhaustion and confusion. We need to learn to zoom out our eyes and let the vision be more relaxed when the precision of the zoom is not required, which is most of the time. Start getting used to a relaxed state of your eyeballs. When you look at your phone, notice your hand and other background items surrounding it. When working on the computer, notice what surrounds the screen. See your hands, the keyboard, and surrounding space. Start seeing surrounding objects and space. Widen your vision gradually to 180 degrees. When working on the keyboard, how far to the left and to the right you can see while looking gently. Do you see the space between the letters you read and type? So widen your awareness. Let your eyes relax and get the panoramic vision. Your brain will relax, your perception will relax, your stress will relax, and you will come back to a more natural state of homeostasis where you're resting and digesting. Only use the zooming in function when you absolutely need it. Instant benefits of awareness. All techniques we have discussed are extremely powerful and easy to use. They're the fundamental ways our body functions. They help us use our awareness to control our stress. Mindfulness means awareness of what is going on. The more we train it, the faster we can diffuse our stress and come back to clarity. There are 3 important benefits from using awareness. Engagement of the prefrontal cortex. Recognizing stress or anger engages the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for rational thinking and decision making. This can help diminish the intensity of the emotional response by enabling better control over these emotions. So once you know enough theory, enough philosophy, and enough physiology, you recognize your stress and anger, and that helps your brain calm down. Mindfulness and self-awareness. Mindfulness practices which involve recognizing and naming emotions have been shown to reduce emotional reactivity by about 50%. So if you recognize you are angry, you tell us, I'm angry, 50% gone. This immediate awareness helps in activating the brain's regulatory pathways that control stress and anger responses. Reduction in amygdala activation. The amygdala, which triggers the fight or flight response, becomes less reactive when we consciously recognize our emotional state. This can lead to a reduction in stress and anger symptoms almost immediately. Isn't that cool? Recognizing what you're going through. I'm thirsty. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm angry. I'm unhappy. I'm sad. That's what it takes. What's next? Well, we all need more training to become pros, right? At least to vastly improve ourselves. And here is the invitation to the club. Join the club, the Empowerment Club, a unique mind coaching program for everyone facing stress, anxiety, burnout, and those seeking personal growth, goal achievement, and community support. What do you dream of achieving? We can do it together. We bring together people who want to step into their future self now by overcoming fear and stress to achieve their goals and have the best year ever. We welcome everyone of all ages, professions, nationalities, religions, genders, and more. Whatever goals you may have, you're welcome here to be empowered and to achieve your dreams. What you get in the program: 52 weeks of lessons, homework, audios of mind body training, exercises, meditations, relevant content, worksheets. Ask the coach, weekly questions and answers recorded, and whatever else we do in the community. Group coaching, perhaps. Let's see how we can do that in the community. Exclusive community of like minded members on X. Access to the coach who monitors the community and is invested in every member's growth. That's me. Dedicated time and space to work on yourself to improve happiness, health, and achievement of goals simultaneously. The future starts now. Personal transformation is a profound and ongoing journey that requires time, patience, and consistent effort. Unlike temporary fixes, true transformation involves deep, lasting shifts in mindset, behavior, and overall ways how you function. The best way to achieve that is to go through a consistent program, which normally takes around a year for anyone to feel really, really great benefits. So 52 weeks to empowerment. Take a look at the website and you can just sign up there, and then you will get the access to the program and links to the community on X, and links to the um, announcement groups on WhatsApp. It is your club, your empowerment club. That's where we empower each other, help each other, and I look after you and help you on your way. So thank you very much for listening to this a short course. We enlarge all of these ideas in the 52-week program, and you get to experience your personal transformation, and you get to see the benefits of the methods of everything you learn about. And learning is always about understanding the beast. When you know the nature of the beast, you know how to handle it. So the more we understand our minds, our bodies, the better we are able to handle life's difficulties. So thank you very much once again. And I look forward to seeing you in the 52 weeks program. Bye.